Welcome to Her Talks, the podcast for Marshall students by Marshall students. I'm Luke Jeffrey.
I'm Ashton McClure.
And have you heard? Movies, feature films, motion pictures, cinematography, videography,
Whoa!
more words.
More fancy
Whatever
stuff.
you call them, right? We all like them. They're there, right? They allow you to turn off your brain and just watch it as your brain cells float away. But they're great, right?
Mm-hmm.
We love movies, and I think Harry Styles actually put it best recently in his own film that he's starring in when he said, "My favorite thing about the movie is that it feels like a movie." And I think that's what we all want in our movies, really. We just want them to feel like movies. And I thought that was really great on Harry to say that.
I mean, what inspiring words from him. No, for me, I really like to chill on the couch, turn on some Netflix or Disney Plus because really, whatever they release in theaters are more than likely going to go to Netflix, Disney Plus, or even Hulu. And that's just
Eventually,
what
yeah.
that's what I just watch.
You can also pirate movies.
You could, but I don't do that.
That's a move.
I think I did that when I was like in 5th grade with someone, but like I didn't do it. They did. So.
Well, it's definitely possible. I may speak from experience.
Oh dear.
Um,
Here comes.
don't do it. I can't promote illegal activity. Don't do it.
I don't know.
Outside of that, when I'm not, sailing the seas of the web, I'm a moviegoer. I am an avid moviegoer. I'd say I go at least once a month.
The cops knocking on the door.
No.
What you doing?
Listen. Now I actually do know someone that got fined at Marshall for doing it.
Really?
Yeah. But it's like, don't do it. I can't promote illegal activity. Don't do it.
I don't know.
Outside of that, when I'm not, sailing the seas of the web, I'm a moviegoer. I am an avid moviegoer. I'd say I go at least once a month, if not 2 or 3, right? Unless there's like nothing playing. But if there's something playing that's pretty good, I'll go watch it. I enjoy the environment, right? But last time I was there, though, get this. Last time I was there, I had just bought my tickets, was getting my popcorn and stuff, right? Playing some arcade games, whatever, waiting on my time to start. And I play the arcade games every time I go.
Oh,
and
my.
20 dudes all walk in at once, like through the doors.
Okay.
And I'm looking, I'm like, what the heck is going on, right? Like, why is everybody coming here? Is there like a party? Am I going to get to party? But so I noticed one of them, it's actually one of my buddies, and I walk up to him like, dude, what's going on? Like, why is everybody here?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I really wanted to see this movie, but it said 18 or over, so I went and grabbed a bunch of my buddies so we could all come.
No. That's so bad.
There were 19 guys, so 18 or over.
19 guys. Yep. Yep. Oh, dear. I don't even know.
He was really shocked to find out that I was able to go in the movie by myself. Because we were watching the same one.
Mm-hmm.
He just didn't get it that I went in. He was like, where are your other 17
Where are your
friends? And I was like,
Where are your friends?
yeah, I know the manager, so I
You
worked
don't
out of
need
jail.
don't need all those friends with you.
Right.
Oh my.
So today we're actually going to go over, and this is, I feel like quite a few people will already know like some of these, but I just thought it was fun to talk about. We're going to look at the highest grossing movies
Ooh, I love
all
this.
time.
This is fun.
So, and the list, like, I'm not going to lie, most of them are pretty predictable, but the number one spot, although it makes sense, it does not fit the theme of the rest of all the movies.
I'm trying to think. I have 2 guesses in my head that it might be.
Really? For the number one highest grossing movie of all time?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know it already?
I don't know. I feel like I did.
Let's hear the guesses.
I feel like I did at one time, but it's been so long. So
Yeah.
it's either, to me, maybe like Titanic, or what's that new What's the one with Thanos? That Marvel movie.
There are quite a few movies.
Oh. I'm not a Marvel person, but the one Endgame? Is that
Yeah,
is that
yeah,
the like
Endgame.
the big one?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
That was the end of phase 3.
those are my 2 guesses.
Okay. Solid guesses.
Yeah?
But I'll tell you right now, those aren't the number one.
Okay, okay.
But both are on the list, which
Oh,
is
sweet.
crazy. So we're going to look at number 5, right? So number 5, the 5th highest grossing movie of all time, is actually Avengers Infinity War,
Okay.
which is the precursor to Endgame.
Okay.
Right? So
see,
it was
I
the
don't
one,
know.
it came right before it. And, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is top tier, of course. So it makes sense that they would be on the highest grossing movies.
I mean, I can see like a lot of Marvel movies being on this list.
Yeah. I think Marvel also has gotten pretty lucky in that their big movies and productions all came in like a wave of movie culture, right? Like I feel like at that time, a lot of people were going to cinemas. It was like a big thing, right? And then, well, COVID happened and like it all
Yeah.
crashed. But all of these came out like right before that, so I feel like it was really big at the time. And it grossed $2,048,000,000
Wow.
to date, right?
To
like
date.
they're still, it could be more because this includes re-releases, and this is global as well. So whatever language you watch Infinity War in,
Yeah.
you contributed to that.
I've been wanting to watch the Marvel movies in order. And I know that'd
Dude.
take a long time.
Yeah.
I know it will. But
My
like,
sister
I just
just
don't
did
feel-
that,
Yeah,
actually.
really?
Yeah,
Did she like it? And she enjoy all of it?
I think so. Yeah, it's like, oh, man, it's such a commitment to get into the Marvel movies because you really do have to do that, which makes it it's almost like gatekept in a way, which is kind of dumb. But if you really want to like get into it and enjoy the movies to the fullest, you have to go back and watch all those
Yeah.
for everything to make sense. I like movies where you can just like kind of hop in,
Yeah.
unless it's like like Infinity War and Endgame. Not understanding those makes sense because they're directly tied.
Yeah.
But why can't I go watch Thor: Love and Thunder? Why do I have to watch Black Panther to understand? Like, why
Do
are
you
they
have to?
connected? There are things, not Black Panther really, but for you to
For an
understand
example, yeah.
all of the Marvel stuff, the crucial ones, you got to watch Doctor Strange. All the Doctor Strange movies.
Okay.
Because the Doctor Strange movies explain the basis for the multiverse and all of that stuff, like the time travel and space travel and whatnot. That's all rooted in Doctor Strange. He's the center of that.
Okay.
So for you to understand how that works in all the other movies, you got to watch Doctor Strange and understand that. So you can kind of get away with not watching the other ones, but that one is like a staple. If you really want to understand what's going on, you got to watch the Doctor Stranges and the Infinity Saga, which is Infinity War, Endgame, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
So, but
Good to know.
that's the spill on Marvel. I would recommend going back and watching them though. It'll take some time, but it's good. Next up, this is also another one that I'd recommend people to go back and watch. Is Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Oh goodness, I haven't watched. I think I watched. I know that they're not in order. Do you know like the actual order? It's
Well,
like
there are different orders, right?
I know, that's what I'm
there's
saying.
chronological order, then there's like the release order.
it's like you have to watch the third one, and that's like the first one, or you know what I'm talking
The
about.
fourth one. So, okay, so how it works.
You do know.
I do know, yes. I'm a Star Wars guy. So, the first movie was released in 1977. Right? It was called Star Wars: A New Hope. And from that, there were 3 released, or 2 more, right after that. So, and A New Hope starts, we meet Luke Skywalker, right? And follow his journey.
Okay.
So it's Luke Skywalker. We meet Darth Vader, and then I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who just so happens to not have seen it, which I don't know how. Or not to know it, right? Like, even if you haven't seen it, most people know the story.
Yeah.
But Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, whatever. So those were the first 3 released. They got so big, but the story kind of ended there, right? Like, they closed it off. It would be super hard to make anything that comes after that.
Okay.
So what they did, because they had a fan base that wanted more content, they made what were called prequels,
Oh.
which it's a sequel
Okay.
that takes place in time before the movies that came before it. So the next 3 released, even though they came after them in release date, they take place before those events. So that's when we get the background of Darth Vader, the background of the Galactic Empire, the Republic, the Rebellion, all that stuff. But this one is actually in the third set of releases, right? So we have the original trilogy, which is Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and the last one. And then there's the second set, which were the prequels. And then 12 years later, after the prequels came out, Disney acquired Star Wars. And then they released a new one, Star Wars The Force Awakens.
Oh.
And that's where this is. So that's why it made it so big and the other Star Wars aren't on this list, because it had old fans that would have been there when it came out in 77 and new fans, like people like me. I was not alive in 1977. I wasn't even a thought. But I think my parents were like, they would have been like 3 and 4, right?
Oh,
when
dear.
Star Wars came out. So I just exposed their age. I'm sorry. But, so when that came out, like, my parents were just, like
Little
kids,
ones.
young kids. So I was nowhere on the map, but I still enjoy it. So I went and watched this. I actually watched it with my dad because he was the one that introduced me to Star Wars. So, you have that big mix of audiences, and that is how it grossed in $2.07 billion to date.
Wow.
That's a lot of money, man.
That is a lot of money.
a lot of money.
I'm glad I know like the order now, or like why they did, because I questioned for so long why they did that. I was like, why just not release them in order? But I guess
Yeah.
like they didn't know.
Right.
So.
Yeah, they built that story, and then people loved it so much that they made what
I
came
had no
before it.
idea. I'm so glad I know that now. This is something I've been wondering for a long time.
I got you. You got some more Star Wars questions? Bring them. I got you. All right, number 3 on the list. This is one you actually guessed. Number 3 is Titanic.
Yeah.
It has brought in so far $2.202 billion. So this is the first one that we have in the 100 millions. Titanic's a classic.
I love it.
I almost feel like it's a requirement that every teenage girl, when they hit middle school, they have to watch this movie. Like, for some reason,
it's your initiation to middle school.
It activates something in them.
Oh, dear.
I don't know. I could probably count on my hand, like, the amount of girls I've met that don't like Titanic.
I love Titanic.
Exactly.
Except
See.
the ending.
So, well, I have never watched it, actually. But I have watched the
No!
Mythbusters episode
No!
on the Titanic
Oh
on
my
Could
gosh.
Jack Fit? What are your thoughts on that?
He could.
No.
He could. Yes, he could. Because she can move over.
Did you watch the Mythbusters episode?
No.
Well, that's why you don't know.
No.
The door
she can
is
scoot
not.
her butt over and help Jack on.
Well, I'm not going to argue about this with you because I know I'm right. But the door is not buoyant enough to float both of them. There is space in terms of surface area, but it cannot hold the weight of both of them. It's that simple.
They could have took turns. Yes, because one could freeze and then be like, okay, I gotta get on the board. It's like, okay, I've been on here for a little while. So then he hops back off. It could share. I just didn't want to, I'll never let go.
Do you know how frostbite or hypothermia work?
Well, no, but it's true
yeah,
love.
clearly.
So it,
Clearly you don't know.
well, true love needs to.
Almost every victim of hypothermia or frostbite do not obtain those from while they are in the water or the cold. It is afterward. So you are sopping wet and freezing, and you can be out of the water, but you will still get hypothermia and die. The reason Rose was able to survive was because she was, not wet and in the water.
Okay. I don't know.
So if they took turns, they both died. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay,
So-
well, I don't know.
Rose, if you're listening, I think you made the right choice,
No.
right?
No.
I hate that for Jack, but whatever.
Jack.
Moving on, the second highest grossing movie of all time. This one was also on your list. So you got number 3 and number 2 is Avengers Endgame.
Okay. Sweet.
And it makes sense, right?
I did see
because-
that one.
Oh, really?
I did because I was invited to go, but I didn't know anything about it. But I was
Yeah,
like,
see.
I'll go. The movie theater was packed. I don't even
Yeah.
think this was like opening day. I think it was just people going to go see it again. It was
Mm-hmm.
packed, and I was just invited to go. It's like I didn't know what was going on, but I was still hooked.
Yep. It was a good one. It was the end of Phase 3. So if you don't know this, Marvel releases their movies in what they call phases.
Okay.
And it's basically like sagas or like series.
Mm-hmm.
So the movies are all tied together. So we're now in phase, I believe, 4. Pretty sure phase 4.
Okay.
Yeah, 4, because Love and Thunder just came out. So we're about halfway through phase 4. And they might have just released phase 5. I don't know. Like, they haven't started, but they released their plans for it.
Okay.
But so they come in phases, and this was phase 3. So it was like everything in this phase was all centered around this movie. It all led up to this moment. So that is why it was so big. So every Marvel guy, girl, whatever, all rushed out to the movie theaters for this one. And it grossed in, and this is a big jump from the
Okay.
Titanic to Endgame, $2,798,000,000.
Oh my.
It's a 500 and quick maths, $596 million difference between the Titanic and Endgame.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it was
like-
a huge moment for Marvel, Disney.
Was
and
it
fans.
number 1 at one time? Endgame being the
Yes,
top?
it was.
Okay, so it's had to be something that's released since then?
No.
No.
Yeah, that's what's weird about number 1. So,
Okay.
but yes, actually, so the number 1, which we haven't revealed yet, it was number 1 for like a long time, like
Okay.
10 years.
Oh.
Endgame passed it up,
Uh-huh.
and they re-released this movie in China
In China.
last year, and it took back the number 1 spot from that re-release. Yeah, it's by the same guy who did Titanic, if that helps.
No, it doesn't. But I'm
Okay.
very intrigued now because
Okay.
I don't know.
So the number 1 highest grossing movie of all. Oh, I forgot to mention this. Just a fun fact: Star Wars: The Force Awakens is the highest domestic earning movie of all time, which means U.S. and Canada. So it has earned more money in the U.S. and Canada than any other movie ever.
Okay.
So it's not the highest grossing, but in U.S. and Canada, it was the most popular.
Okay, so start from 5 and go up to number 1 now.
Okay. So at 5, we had Avengers: Infinity War with $2,048,000,000. 4 was Star Wars: The Force Awakens, $2,070,000,000. 3 was the Titanic, $2,202,000,000. And then we see that spike to number 2, Avengers: Endgame. It looks like I'm shooting you.
Oh, dear.
I gotta change that. Number 2, Avengers: Endgame, $2,798,000,000. And in the number 1 spot, earning $2,847,000,000
Drum roll.
is Avatar.
Oh, you know what? I've never seen Avatar.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Watch it. There's a second one coming out. soon.
I did see that.
Yeah.
Man, Avatar, they re-released it.
They did 2021 in China, and it's in preparation for the new.
Okay, I
the
didn't
new one
know
coming
that.
out.
No, because isn't it like a really long movie?
I mean, it's not longer than Endgame.
I don't know. I heard that I haven't watched it. I just heard that it was really long.
It's really good too. I think what helped it was ahead of its time, right? So it was released in like I think 2009.
Okay.
And it kept that number 1 spot until like 2019, or
Whoa.
whenever Endgame was released. And so it was so ahead that people like flooded to see it. It was like a new action like sci-fi thing, and you know the Titanic guy's a good director, right? Like obviously.
Yeah.
So you had like his skills and stuff put into this. And it was a new like unexplored genre. It kind of paved the way for some other stuff. So it had a lot going on for it. And then now the second one's coming out, and they re-released it in China, and it took back the number 1 spot last year. I mean, it's a classic, right? If it is the number 1 highest grossing movie of all time, I would think it makes sense that people need to watch it. Right?
I know.
I would
That's what
suggest
I'm saying.
I would suggest go watch it. It made
Yeah.
me want to be an Avatar when I was a kid, right? I had like the action figures and everything. I wanted to be one of the blue guys.
One of the
right?
blue guys.
That's it. But it's a really good movie. It's a really good movie. I highly suggest
I
it.
think it's funny. I haven't seen it.
Well, go watch it. Yeah, actually, just sidebar. I was actually going to do the highest rated, like this week we weren't going to do highest grossing. We were going to do highest rated movies of all time, according to Rotten Tomatoes. I looked at the top 10 list. I haven't watched a single one of them.
Really? We need to do an episode on that then.
I
'Cause
don't know.
maybe
Well,
I've
like-
watched them.
No shot.
No? Are
'Cause
they
they're-
old?
Yeah. Like
Oh.
black and white, old.
Oh.
Like
Really?
there's a silent film in the top 5.
No.
Like the number 4
I feel
spot
like
is
we
a
need to
silent
watch
film.
them then. If they're
I'm gonna on my own time. I'm going to
you need to make a
watch
list of
them.
them.
So, yeah, I will watch them, and then once I do that, maybe we'll come back, revisit this,
Yes.
and I'll give my opinions on them if they truly deserve those spots. But for now, we're going to switch into a game.
Game.
So it has to do with movies, right? And the game is Keep 5, Cut 5. Have you ever played it?
No.
So it's mimicking like sports trades, right? So in sports, you get trades, and
Okay.
like imagine you're a team, right? So say I'm a professional basketball team, and we bring in recruits, and I get to keep 5. I have to cut 5.
Okay.
So 5 get to join my team. 5 have to go somewhere else. So it's like I'll keep blank and I'll cut blank.
Okay.
So you keep 1, cut 1, and you do that until you've kept 5 and you've cut 5.
Okay.
But we're going to do that with movies.
Okay.
So I have a random movie generator,
Ooh.
and I'm going to generate 10 movies.
I hope I've seen them.
And I've done it a few times. I
Yeah?
think most of them, if you haven't seen it, you'll know.
Okay.
But you have to pick 5 to keep,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to cut 5. And I'm going to give you this list first because this is a really good list that it's popped up.
Okay.
So your list is Forrest Gump.
Haven't seen it.
No, that's a whole other issue. Forrest Gump, The Fifth Element, Armageddon,
Oh dear.
Taxi Driver, Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, Minority Report, Star Trek Nemesis, The Godfather Part 3, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, and The Lost World, Jurassic Park. And I'll let you look at this because I know that's a lot to memorize.
I think I've seen
So-
one.
Which one have you seen?
The Lost World.
See, I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen Forrest Gump. I don't know about the Fifth Element.
Well, I'm telling you right now, you need to keep Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
That is a keeper.
I feel
That's
like
my 2
I
cents.
feel like whoever is watching are gonna be like Forrest Gump all the way. So I'll keep Forrest Gump.
Yep.
Oh dear, this is not a good one for me. 'Cause I
Who's
don't
your
know.
first cut?
My first cut
Yep.
is probably The Taxi Driver because I don't even know what that is.
I've never watched it, but I've heard it's really good. I'd say you probably just upset our older audience.
I'm sorry. I don't know. Okay, the next one I'm gonna keep is I feel like I should keep a Star Trek. I'll keep this one, Star Trek Nemesis, because it was in the year I was born.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I kind of knew Star Trek. I think my dad was a Star Trek fan. Yeah, they did this thing. Yeah.
You
Is that
can't
like?
even do it right.
What do you mean?
Why are your
Oh, maybe you gotta face it.
what are these fingers called? Your ring finger and pinky.
What are these fingers?
Yeah, the Star Trek hands.
Then I'll cut
Mork and Mindy.
Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Cause like what? I don't even know.
It's
Do you
about
know?
a cat on a hot tin roof. What do you mean?
I don't know. And then the next one, I'll keep Star Trek: The Undiscovered Country, cause might as
Okay,
well.
so we're going with Star Trek.
Yeah, and I'll cut Minority Report.
You're cutting Minority Report?
Yeah.
I've also heard that one's really good.
Really? Yeah. Now, I don't know.
So you've kept 3, right, so far?
Yeah, I think. And then, I thought there was only one Godfather. Is there like a lot of them?
I guess.
It says.
I've
part
never
3.
watched The Godfather either.
Okay. Is Armageddon popular? I
Yes.
feel like it is. Okay.
Yes.
I'll keep Armageddon. and then
Armageddon's a great movie.
I'll cut The Godfather Part 3.
Ooh, okay. That's probably a
Yes.
hot take.
I don't know, fam. And then, I'll keep. Did I already keep the Lost World? I don't
No,
know.
I don't think you've kept it yet.
Okay, keep the Lost World and throw out the Fifth Element.
Okay, so our final list. She is keeping Forrest Gump, Armageddon, Star Trek 6, Star Trek Nemesis, and The Lost World Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And she cut The Fifth Element, Taxi Driver, Minority Report, The Godfather, and Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. So
I don't know tell you anything about those.
I'm going to generate 10 more. And so this is my list. Oh my gosh. Okay.
What?
I got some good ones here.
Oh dear.
All right, so my list is Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, The Untouchables, The 39 Steps, Batman, 1989, Beverly Hills Cop 3, Inspector Gadget, Mary Poppins,
Yes!
Mary Poppins, Bend It Like Beckham, Love Actually, and Notting Hill.
I feel like this one. Yeah.
So my very first pick, I'm keeping Mary Poppins.
Okay. I don't think I've seen the original.
You're
I'm
kidding
sorry.
me.
No. I haven't seen a lot
Go
of
watch
movies,
it.
apparently.
Go watch Mary Poppins.
I have a list.
Mary Poppins is a childhood movie for me. It takes me back to simpler times. I like it. We're keeping Mary Poppins. I am cutting. Oh, Bend It Like Beckham.
Okay, don't know that one.
Yeah, I don't either. But it appears, it's probably a coming of age movie if I had to guess, just by the poster.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, keep Mary Poppins. Cut Bend It Like Beckham. Next one, I'm gonna keep Batman.
Yeah.
1989.
Haven't
right?
seen that one.
That's a
but
staple.
yeah.
It's good. And then I'm going to cut. Oh my gosh. I haven't seen it, but I'm afraid. Oh no, I might have seen it.
I don't know. Clearly.
No, I'm cutting Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Okay.
I feel like I could get flack for that one, but I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna keep. Gosh. Oh man, I'm gonna keep The Untouchables.
Okay.
Keeping The Untouchables, and I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna cut Notting Hill.
Okay.
Wow, I got a hard list. Okay, so I get to keep two more. I'm gonna keep. I feel like I gotta put Inspector Gadget on there.
Yeah!
So I'm gonna keep Inspector Gadget, and I'm gonna cut. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen this movie, but it looks really interesting.
It does.
I'm gonna cut The 39 Steps.
I feel like it could be like a war movie by the poster.
Yeah, it's from 1935,
Oh dear.
so I'm gonna cut it. Right, it's had its time. And my last one, I'm gonna keep. Oh,
I know the one you should keep.
yeah. Well, see, I know Love Actually is super popular among certain audiences.
I haven't seen it, but one of my
Um,
favorite actors is in it, so I should watch it.
But Beverly Hills Cop 3, it is. Beverly Hills Cop 3 is a sequel, so I'm going to cut Beverly Hills Cop 3 because there are still two more, right? And I'm going to keep Love Actually.
Yeah,
So,
I like your list.
My final keep, I kept The Untouchables, Batman 1989, Inspector Gadget, Mary Poppins, and what was my? Oh, Love Actually.
Yeah.
And I cut Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, The 39 Steps, Beverly Hills Cop 3, Bend It Like Beckham, and Notting Hill. So now we're going to do this again, except we're going to do movies from 2020.
Oh.
So just movies from 2020.
Okay, I've probably seen more of these then.
Right, yeah.
Hopefully, at least.
Oh, well, it only gave me one movie. So, oh, this is not from 2020, but this is a good list. I'm gonna give it to you just because it's your turn. But I do
see a
have
repeat.
strong opinions on this list.
Do you
So
now?
just a warning. And I
Okay.
think many people will also have these strong opinions.
So we have Snatch, Groundhog Day, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Back to the Future Part 2, Arsenic and Old Lace, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof,
Yeah, we got that one again.
Bull Durham, Dial M for Murder, Spider-Man 2, and Die Hard. Okay. All right, so I'm going to keep Spider-Man 2 because I am obsessed with Spider-Man. He's probably my favorite Marvel. So
Really?
I love Spider-Man.
Well, then,
Even before
if you're-
Tom
have
Holland.
you seen Spider-Man 2?
Yes.
So
Yes.
who's the actor in it?
It is
This is your
Andrew
true test.
Garfield. No? Is that not Gwen? No.
Oh, well,
it's-
then maybe you said that. Well,
No, that's not her. That's the
yeah,
old
no.
one. What's it?
Andrew
oh,
Garfield is in The Amazing
the
Spider-Man.
amazing. Oh no! Well, that's.
You're not a real fake
I
fan.
know it though. I know
Fake
his
fan.
face. I know his face. Can you tell me?
Tobey Maguire.
Ah!
Fake fan. Whatever.
I still like Spider-Man. Okay, I'm gonna keep this one. I'm gonna cut Cat on a Hot Tin Roof because this needs to get out of here.
Okay. Fair.
I'm gonna keep Back to the Future Part 2. I don't know if I've seen that one all the way through, but I know. Be disappointed. I know. I'm gonna keep that one, and I'm gonna let go Bull Durham because I don't even know. You look disappointed.
No, I don't know Boulder.
Okay. All right. Next, I'm gonna keep Groundhog Day.
Solid choice. That is a good
And
one.
I'm gonna get rid of Arsenic and Old Lace.
Okay.
Don't even know. Next, I'm gonna keep Snatch because it has a dog on the poster.
Good old dog.
And I'm gonna get rid of Star Trek 2 just because I saved it a lot last round.
Okay, yeah. Fair.
And then lastly, I'll keep Die Hard just because I know people have seen it. I haven't.
Good choice.
And gonna get rid of Dial M for Murder.
Now, I also know that I think that one's pretty popular too. Dial M for Murder. I haven't seen it.
I
But.
don't know.
So your final keep list is Snatch, Groundhog Day, Spider-Man 2, Die Hard, and what else?
Let me see.
I don't remember the fifth. Did you keep Back to the Future?
Yeah.
I thought you got rid of it. Okay.
Kept it.
Well, that's why I looked disappointed. No, I'm glad you
Yeah,
kept
I
Back
kept
to
it.
the Future.
No, because I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why.
Yeah, you need to watch that. That's okay.
Can you just make me a list?
Solid.
Like, honestly.
I have a list of movies I still need to watch too. But solid choices. All right. Let's get 10 more.
Okay.
Let's try to get them from 2000 2010. And let's see. Well, it's not generating anything for me, which is weird.
No movies for
All
you.
right. That's way more than 10. Sorry, folks. Technical errors. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Oh, wow. All right. Yeah, okay, this is a good list. So we have Mars Attacks from 1996, Memento, Anatomy of a Murder, The Outsiders,
Ooh.
Fargo, Underworld, Bruce Almighty,
Hey.
Once Upon a Time in America, Eyes Wide Shut, and Rain Man. Off the bat, I'm keeping Rain Man.
Don't know.
Watch it.
What?
If I'm giving you one movie from today to
Really?
watch Rain Man. Now it's long,
Oh, dear.
but it is so good. It is
What
so
year
good.
was it made?
1988. It's an older one, but it
Okay.
is. I'm not even going to tell you about it. I think there's some controversy about it actually
Yeah?
because it has the portrayal of a mentally handicapped individual.
Okay.
And I guess I can't really speak on behalf of them, but I've also heard some people say from that community, the handicapped community, that it gives portrayal and like insight to them. They like seeing representation.
Yeah.
Because I think it really tries not to put it in a bad light.
Mm-hmm.
The person, it shows like the hardships
Yeah.
of it. But again, I can't speak for that because I'm not in that situation. I'm not a part of the community, so I'm not putting words into their mouth. But there are both sides to it. I think there's some controversy. But just from a cinematic standpoint, it is a great movie.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So I would highly suggest you watch it. So I'm keeping Rain Man. I am cutting Eyes Wide Shut
Okay.
because it looks inappropriate.
Does it?
I don't know. Something about it's throwing me off. It looks like a mix between Haunted Mansion and something that like Hugh Hefner would produce. So
Haunted Mansion.
yeah.
I watched that so many times.
Haunted
when I
Mansion's
was
great.
little.
This is Haunted Mansion, except Hugh Hefner lives there. That's what Eyes Wide Shut looks like. So we're cutting it, keeping Rain Man. Next one I'm going to keep is The Outsiders.
Yes.
A staple. This one's even older than Rain Man, 1983.
So
But I'm keeping The Outsiders.
with The Outsiders, I don't know if this is just like a West Virginia type deal or maybe across America, but did everyone read it in 6th grade, the book, and then watch the movie with it?
I did at some point, but I don't remember when.
Yeah. I
I
just think,
think
I just
that's-
wonder if
I
that's
think
just
that's
like
a-
in the curriculum.
I'm pretty sure it's like a literature staple. It's probably not in the curriculum, but I feel like it's
Mhm.
a go-to for a lot of teachers. Like
Yeah.
Of Mice and Men, you know? That's in 10th grade literature class, you read Of Mice and Men. That's just how it goes. I didn't. My English teacher took another route because she said that one was overused.
Oh.
So she was like, well, if you use that on the AP exam, they're not going to pay attention because everyone uses it.
No, I got you.
Wow, okay. So she pulled a slick move on him. But I'm keeping The Outsiders. I'm cutting. Man, I'm going to cut Fargo.
Fargo.
I don't know it.
I don't know.
It looks interesting, but I'm going to cut it because I don't know it. I'm sorry if I hurt anybody. Keeping Rain Man, keeping The Outsiders, and I'm going to keep. Mars Attacks. I'm keeping Mars Attacks. There are a lot of memes that have been generated from this movie.
Really?
Yeah. And I like those memes. So we have to keep Mars Attacks. And in place of that, I'm going to cut Once Upon a Time in America.
Okay.
Even though it looks really good, I might have to watch that at some point. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this is
You know what you should do.
This is really interesting. I feel Anatomy of a Murder, I know is good. I've heard it's really good, and I'm very tempted to keep it, but I haven't watched it, and it's 1959. Memento also looks like a fantastic movie. And this guy kind of looks like Justin Timberlake, and I really like Justin Timberlake. So, and Underworld looks so sick, too. And then we have Bruce Almighty. And
Bruce.
here's the thing about Bruce Almighty. I know it's, like, good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on the same token, Bruce Almighty is a ripoff. I don't know if you know this or not.
Why?
The original is Evan Almighty.
Oh, yeah, I do know that.
So there is already an Evan Almighty,
Yeah, but
right? So
like-
if we take out Bruce, like we still have the movie and the concept. It's just a different actor. And
I like
I'm a
this
Steve
actor.
Carell fan, so I'm fine with it being Steve Carell and not Jim Carrey.
I love both of them.
See, that's what I'm saying. So I think, and this is,
No.
it's a hard decision.
No.
But because we need some diversity in the list, right? We can't have 5 shooters on our team, right? We got to have our forward, our defense, whatever.
No. This is movies.
I'm cutting Bruce Almighty.
No.
I'm cutting Bruce Almighty, and it hurts, but I'm going to keep Anatomy of a Murder.
Boo.
I don't even know if it's good. I haven't watched it, but I've
Exactly.
heard good things. So now we're down to Memento and Underworld, and this is also a hard one because they both look really good. But I'm going to cut Underworld and keep Memento because of Justin Timberlake.
Oh, yeah.
look-alike.
100%.
It's not actually Justin Timberlake,
Oh.
but it looks like him,
Oh.
and I really like Justin Timberlake.
It's like he was in a movie.
So he should be. But anyway, that's the end of our game. That's our Keep 5, Cut 5.
I thought that was
Interesting
fun.
takes.
I like
yeah,
that.
It's pretty fun. But, well, while Hurt Talks isn't pulling in revenue like these top tier movies, and I doubt we ever will, right? We're not really pulling in revenue like any film for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
We still have the Harry effect going for us, right?
Yes.
My favorite thing about the podcast is that it feels like a podcast. So If you like your podcast to
What
feel like
profound
podcasts,
words.
look no further because you have found one. We take pride in feeling like a podcast. So check the description wherever you're listening to this to find links to all of our social media platforms, so you can keep up and feel like you're listening to a podcast at all times. Right? We also have a few forms. You can feel free, and we actually encourage you to fill out. One is an anonymous response feedback form. Right? Let us know what we're doing good. Let us know what we're doing bad. Let us know what you'd like to see, some changes, right? Or maybe just tell us what you had for lunch. I don't know.
Oh dear.
I just want to see some responses. So, and the second one is actually the opportunity for you to have your very own podcast episode. We want to give Marshall students, faculty, staff, and extended family members, the Marshall cousins, the Marshall whatever your relation is to Marshall, we want to give you a platform to come on here and talk about something you are passionate about. We want to extend that and allow you to have that opportunity. And it just sounds cool to say, yeah, I was on a podcast.
Yeah, it's a
I
podcast.
have an episode named after me.
Yeah, look it up on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube, Spotify, I'm on there, Apple Podcasts, and it'll be on there basically forever.
Whoa. So if you're like 20 years down the road, be like, hey, remember that podcast I was on, Sonny
I got
Boy?
a podcast. And if Herd Talks ever blows up, right, look, you are on it.
Yeah.
So fill it out. Come on here. At the very least, we'll have some fun. We can provide refreshments and snacks. So
We will.
if that's interesting. But fill it out. Come on. Let's have some fun. So go do your paperwork.
Do it.
Go click the links in the description below.
Do it.
Fill them out. Drop us a few follows and make sure that there's nothing you haven't heard.